Listen, we want you to get clear on your picture of success. And that's all around visual strategy mapping for our CEOs today. That's what we're going to be talking about. That's what we're going to be jumping into on episode 739 of the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. I am Charvette Mitchell, your host, and we're excited to get into it with our guest who is in the virtual green room, Belinda Jackson, a friend of the show, backed by popular demand. And we're going to get into it right after this quick intro. Don't you move.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. Shout out to those that are live on our multiple streaming platforms. Hey to Facebook, hey to LinkedIn, hey to YouTube, hello to Twitch as well. Listen, let me greet a few people that are hanging out over on YouTube. Shout out to my sister Kim, Deborah, Roberto, Marilyn, thank you so much for being here. Dr. Val, we were just talking about you stepping out with Valerie Harris. Hey, girl, hey, welcome. So glad to see you in the virtual audience. Thank you for those that listen to the podcast version of this. So you might be listening from Apple Podcasts. You might be listening from Spotify. You might be listening from iHeart, Google Play, all of the things. And you might be listening from Blog Talk Radio. Shout out to our listeners. And just look down below in our show notes. You can get all of the details related to our guest and the topic for today. And I encourage you to go ahead and share this broadcast out. Go ahead and send it out and say, hey, I think you need to check this out. Absolutely. Shout out to my mom. I see you in the audience. Thank you for being here always, all of the time. And if you are watching on YouTube, I know you like this content. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to get the notifications so that, we can stay up to date and make sure you don't miss anything. Hey, Gwen, thank you so much for popping on in. This segment is brought to you by my 7th book collaboration. We technically wrapped up pre-orders on Monday, but listen, you still got a chance to grab your pre-order copy of my new book collaboration. We're in pre-order called Prosper. We will have it in our hot little hands in October. So go ahead and be on the front end, be one of those supporters and just order hundreds and thousands, paperback, hardback, Prosper. And you are going to, I'm telling you, this book is really, really great. You can order that from charvette.com. If you're listening there from charvette.com. All right, let me introduce my guest. We see you all coming on in. Thank you again for being here. And let me bring her on up to the mic as we are here for episode 739. Our topic, get clear on your picture of success, visual strategy mapping for CEOs. We're going to explain it. We're going to show you what we're talking about. It's going to be good. We have Belinda Jackson here. She is a visual strategist and graphic recorder. She's also the founder and CEO of Picture It Possible. And she is on a mission to help CEOs, social impact leaders, mission-driven teams, and the like to use visual thinking to unlock their genius, amplify their message, and grow thriving organizations. Her professional career began as an educator in her hometown of Mount Vernon, New York. Yes, a New Yorker, right? And when Belinda transitioned from classroom teaching to higher education research at Johns Hopkins University, everything clicked. And so she's combined her love of art with systems and thinking and started her graphic facilitation training in 2008. And while serving in leadership roles over several years, Belinda really found her niche in helping people identify and draw out their gifts using visual thinking strategies. Put your hands together and welcome up live on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, Belinda Jackson. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here and to see the shout outs. And I have to say hello to your mom. You have to honor all the mothers. So I haven't met her, but hello, Mom.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And my sister and I got cousins and all here, all the support and people just clapping already. Like we're ready to hear and learn more about this. And so, back by popular demand, a friend of the show, a friend of Mitchell Productions, a friend of the of all of that. But I'd love for you to just share with our viewers and our listeners just a little bit, about how you and what inspired you to transition from education to becoming a visual strategist.
Part of the transition actually had to do with needing space to grow. So I had taught for maybe 8 years. And in education, there aren't that many career paths. If you want to be in leadership, you basically need to go to the administrative office and become an administrator. But there weren't creative ways for me, I felt like, to express some of the things I wanted to do. And I also was frustrated, to be honest, because there was a disconnect between what universities know as a best practice that can help our children and what we were being instructed to do. So I had always been a learner behind the scenes, no matter what I was doing. And I found that there were all these creative research projects and organizations that were working to change things in education based on research. So that's what initially prompted me to get out of the classroom and go to Johns Hopkins. And when I got there, as you mentioned in the intro, that's where I realized that visual thinking could be used beyond the classroom. And we had maybe like 25-page research reports. We also had grant proposals that had to be translated so the people who were responsible for doing the work could understand what they needed to do. And I learned about graphic facilitation from a company in California called The Grove. I took a strategic visioning course. And then from there on, it just kind of fired up the engine. Once I realized that this whole world existed, it was like the best of both worlds. I was like,
wow.
I can be serious, I can probe, I can tap into the creative side, the fun, the joy, but also we could get strategic, make some decisions, and really cut through the clutter so that things could change, whether it's an education system, whether it's an organization or an individual person. But I started out using all those skills to help our university project that was based in Baltimore City. And that is the beginning.
And that is the beginning. And now, full-time business owner, now using this skill set for companies and organizations and all of that. And so for someone who's saying, okay, you call yourself a visual strategist, like what is that? And I just popped up for those that are listening to the podcast. This is a really great show to actually go watch on YouTube. So if you're listening to the podcast, go watch this on YouTube. But so you can visually see this. And so I put up a few pictures for those that are watching live to just kind of depict a little bit, but visual strategist. How would you describe that kind of title to someone?
Well, if you think of a consultant, right? A typical consultant or a coach helps people draw out their ideas, clarify them, facilitates change, helping people to maximize performance, things like that. So imagine I'm doing the same thing, but instead of just talking to you and you talking back, I am drawing and sketching as we talk, and we're interacting with that visual together. And I think that's the best way I could describe it. So if you're solving a problem, you can draw it out as you talk. It doesn't have to be super fancy. It's more of a process drawing. And it taps into the different parts of your brain. And there's neurobiology to support that visual imagery with text helps you to remember things, I think, about 60 times faster than if you just saw a text, like a word written by itself. So we're even going
or
beyond
a boring PowerPoint, right? Or a boring PowerPoint, right?
Yes, death by PowerPoint. If
Right.
PowerPoint is used correctly, actually, it should be more visual than text.
Yeah.
Just to, try to reclaim some of that, because I know PowerPoint gets bashed. But to your point, we are so used to the same things. And sometimes you just need to introduce a different way because people are trying to solve difficult problems or get ideas out. And if you can do something different to shift their perspective, you usually then can come up with a new solution because you're looking at your problem or your project in a different way.
Yeah, and they're all types of learners, right? So they're the visual learners who really like, I'm not going to grasp it. Somebody might not grasp it without seeing a type of visual. There's auditory learners, there's all of that, and so really appealing to different learning styles. And so for visual, kind of this visual strategy mapping, how does it help a CEO? And we have CEOs and solopreneurs and entrepreneurs and all that are watching, really kind of clarify their vision for success, like what they depict as success.
I would say the biggest benefit really is that cognitive load, or just the weight, the processing weight that CEOs, executive leaders have, where there are all these thoughts and ideas that don't come out, right? And some of them are probably the main strategy that needs to be focused on for things to change. But it's like, how do I get all of this out of my head?
Yeah.
So when I work with people one-on-one, one of the things I consistently hear is it feels like therapy. And I didn't understand that at first, but I spoke to someone who does therapy in Richmond, actually, and she was explaining to me that there's this demand on the brain to process and do all these things. And by someone drawing as you're speaking, it helps to, once that information comes out, it relieves a little bit of the demand, and therefore people feel less burdened. So before we have results, we have the release of the burden, right?
Yeah.
And then as that happens and they're seeing their idea, then they are processing what they're seeing. So it's out of their head and now it's out of them, and they're seeing it and they're now reacting to it in context with all these other ideas. And then it just begins to either show that, wait, I need to really focus on this one thing, or I have ideas all over the place and they're not related at all. What is going on? So it helps really for business owners to be able to articulate their idea without having the burden of typing and writing. And even with the coaches are amazing, but for some people, they need notes. They don't get notes from the coach, right? The coach is like, that's kind of your responsibility to capture what they're saying. And for some people, they don't even need that. They just need to be able to sit back, speak, and see their ideas kind of coming alive. And then we can start strategizing and working through them.
And so I think such a key point there of being able to articulate, a leader being able to articulate the vision. And this may be related to a program. This may be related to services. So for instance, Mitchell Productions work with you to create this beautiful picture graphic. You could tell us.
I like to call them artistic infographics.
There we go. Artistic infographic to depict what it would look like and what we cover in a 12-month program called our Platform Builder program, which is based off of our 6-part trademark framework. And then you've done something similar for other businesses. So I'm just giving viewers, those that are listening, again, I think this is a great show for you to go actually watch. But how you were working with CEOs to depict, again, it could be a process. It could be different types of things that are at an event as well, where you're actually able to show in a picture format a process, event, notes, or what have you. What do you say to people say, that sounds like play? Like, I'm a CEO, I'm not going to be doing Post-its, I'm not going to be having colored highlighters, these pictures. Does it feel, what is your response to someone who's like, is this really authentic? Are we just playing?
Well, when people use the word play, I reflect back and say, do you not think that you should play anymore? Because there's research that shows adults need play.
Yes.
So I usually start with that. So you probably need some play in your life, right? But
Right.
let's talk about the benefits of using these different formats.
Yes.
So, for example, if you are seeing me draw, it's the cognitive processes that are happening that are going to get you the results you want. Whereas you might have a meeting where there's a list, maybe there's a chart, and then we keep moving on to multiple slides, but there's no one place that is connecting all that information together. So if you have an infographic, for example, the one you have for the Platform Builder program, it's multi-dimensional, right?
Yeah.
So you could speak on maybe 10 different topics using that one image. And it is multi-dimensional because it shows that there's an upward movement. It shows that there is a goal, which is the platform. It shows that when you get on that platform, there's certain things that you're doing and you're going to be able to demonstrate. Do you see where I'm going? So when
Yes.
people say that it's playful, well, yes, we want to have joy in our work. We want to have creative expression. There's actually a benefit, and there's actually data to support that innovation comes through that joy, that wonder, and that perspective taking. So if folks are not doing enough of that, I would encourage them to just Google research on adult play, and you will be shocked at how much data there is to support it. Then the other thing is the cognition. Making connections, there's some neurobiology to support. When you can give your mind a picture of where you're trying to go, you're more likely to get there. So even though that's not a direct benefit that you'll see at the end of the session, when people see your platform, they can see themselves getting to the top.
Yeah.
You're showing them at the top. And then you as the CEO, you're saying, this is where I'm bringing people. So you can use it like metacognitively to reflect on what you're doing to create that program and why you designed it the way you did. But you can also shift perspectives and say, oh, what would a person who potentially is my ideal client think about this? How would it engage them, pull them in? Will it help them to see that this is possible?
Yeah, so good, so good. I know people are listening saying, I love those infographics and all of that. Can I have something created like that for my business? How can people connect with you, on that?
I have a landing page called Vision Mapping. It's visionmapping.ink, like the ink in a pen. And that is the beginning stage for any project, even the platform builder diagram. We start by you articulating through a video call your concept, and I'm capturing your ideas while I'm drawing. So if it's a program you want to focus on, we can do a deep dive in you getting all your thoughts out about the program. It might be your business vision. It might be a new project. It might be your personal life vision and how being a CEO fits into that. So they can go to that landing page and get more information about having a visual vision mapping session.
Awesome. Claps coming in from Tammy, former educator, just retired. So, loving that. And listeners on the screen, you'll see pictureitpossible.co, main website. This is not a spelling error. This is not a spelling error. It is .co, not .com, .co, not .com. So
yes, we're the co. We're the company.
We're the co, .co. And to your point earlier about therapy, we have a lot of clients that are therapists. There is an actual modality in therapy called play therapy. And so you actually have some of the credentials related to being certified in the Legos, a series play method, and some other techniques that really help clients. So how does some of those things like the Legos, how does that help with, a CEO or an owner of a company kind of think through big processes?
Yeah. So when children play with Legos, they're building the real world, right? So they're making a literal house because they see a house. They're making a literal window to be a window. When we use it in adult format, Lego Serious Play, the serious makes it the adult version. We are using Legos as a metaphor to create a solution or to solve a problem. So basically, you're building your answer to a question. So for example, in a team, you might say, what would a successful co-working space look like?
Mm-hmm.
And then they would describe what that is. So maybe a successful co-working place has opportunity to move, there's growth. Okay, so we're not literally building the workspace, but
Uh-huh.
we're constructing something, a model to represent what an ideal co-working space would be like. So maybe someone has a whole bunch of green Legos going up and down to show there's lots of plants and growth and
Mm.
life. It's not a literal building plants or
Right.
building the structure of a building, but you're using the Lego as a tactile way to communicate your idea. So it's like, instead of writing your answer to a question on a sticky
Yeah.
note in a meeting and sticking it up on the wall, you would build your response, you would build your answer. And then there's creative things you can do with the team. And I've done it with chemical engineers, I've done it with educators, I've done it with caregivers, and I've done it with business owners.
Yeah, wonderful. Listen, some of your clients are in the audience. Shout out to Dana. Dana, we literally just had your one of your amazing, beautiful infographics and the like up as well. And so I think that this is so great to be thinking like in this direction. Because it can seem like really boring, like to do strategic thinking. A lot of times, like we're heading into the fourth quarter,
Yes.
which a lot of times is people are mapping out for their businesses. What does 2025 look like? Are there pivots? What strategic planning? And so, would you say this is a good time to, invoke this type of thought process and methodology?
I would. Any time is great, but whenever it's coming upon you to make like a major decision,
Mm.
I think it's really helpful to do it in advance so you can see. For example, a lot of clients will say, okay, this is my vision for the beginning of next year, or this is my reflection of this year. And I'll say,
Mhm.
okay, talk about it. And then what did you plan at the beginning of the year? And have you achieved what you planned? And if so, why not? So it becomes more of like a reflection. You can do that.
Yeah.
This, for example, is another thing you can do, which is called Wow Now How, which is
Okay.
a simple exercise where the wow is the ideal state of your business, your life. The now is, okay, so where are you right now in relationship to the wow, the things you said are ideal? And the
Ah,
how is, okay, based on what you said the wow is and where you are now, what do you need to do to get there? So it's basically using similar principles and sometimes images to just ground your thinking so that you can really reflect and focus, because some people are naturally self-aware and self-reflective.
yeah.
Others of us, like myself, I need a process to kind of work my ideas out, and I'm not great with fill in the blank type things or
Yeah.
forms or journals or planners. I've struggled forever to use a planner, so it's a different approach that someone might want to try. I
Yeah.
have had a client who has been in business for maybe over 10 years. And in an hour, he was like, Belinda, I got out ideas that I've been trying to articulate for like 3 years
Wow. Just by
in an
visual
hour
mapping and visually
in
seeing
a
it.
visual mapping session. Yeah.
I love this comment from my sister Kim. It's kind of like a vision board. So that,
Yes.
that those that have vision boards, and you put those together. And I'm a planner girl. I'm a planner girl. However, I decorate my planner like every single week with stickers and things
Mhm.
of that nature. So it's a little bit of, I'm gonna say it's a little bit of vision, a little bit
To
of
motivate.
vision.
It's
Yeah.
motivating and joyful for you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so for the, the CEO, the solopreneur, the whoever that's like hesitant to incorporate kind of visual thinking into their leadership strategy, what would you say to them?
I would say don't focus so much on the idea of a product, which is what I talk to my clients about, even clients that want a product. For example, when we did your platform visual, I want to hear the process. I want you to talk about it, and I want you to see what I'm drawing in the process. That initial drawing is not to have a print worthy image. It's to get the ideas out. and then to see where there are connections. So it's not so much about the drawing, but about the process of getting your ideas out and seeing how they connect with each other. So, for example, you might just need to start putting things on a whiteboard, and it could be lists on a whiteboard, but maybe you can structure that list a little differently. Like the how, now, wow could just be 3 columns. Or if you heard of Kanban, which is like a board similar to what Trello looks like, where you just visually see your tasks. Asana has a similar board view. You can do that on a whiteboard, to do, in progress, completed. That is visual thinking. You can add a little icon for the to do. Maybe one of them has an arrow, one of them has a checkbox, one of them has like a little turning sync arrow or something that shows you're working on it, right? Little things like that help your brain organize the information. And when you can see that task and you move it over to complete, it also is motivating. So there's so many ways you can step into visual thinking and just test the waters without doing a deep dive vision map. I encourage people to do that. Even if you're just drawing a diagram, it helps your brain to make connections and see insights that otherwise you may have missed if you just had a conversation and didn't incorporate it.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so as far as your services, I know that you can work with companies and amazing teams to help, map out the vision and all of that. You also can do this live kind of visual strategy, graphic recording, like at a conference where you are capturing live notes from a conference. And then certainly some of the examples of what you show where you can work with business owners to depict to this beautiful information type graphic for either a process, a program, or even a list of services. Did I miss anything?
No, I think one other way it can be used is with customer experience.
Oh, that's good.
If you think about it from more of a government institutional perspective, focus groups, listening tours, landscape analysis. So anything you need to do where you're gathering information from stakeholder groups. I just did a listening session last night in Virginia where we had the community came out because there's going to be a new transportation plan. And it's safety of pedestrians and the wellness of folks in the city. So volunteers, people came from different areas, and we captured their feedback on the chart. It created conversation. People were adding things, having new ideas and thoughts based on what they saw. So it's not just visual, meaning you look at it, but it can become an interactive part of your meeting, your event. It's like a way to bring immersion without technology. It's like giving you more of a 3-dimensional kind of feel because there's images and there's depth and there's metaphor in there. And it was really powerful to get people talking who didn't speak. The whole focus group, at the end, they were coming up, talking to me about it and asking me to add things, giving me sticky notes. So that's a great way to get feedback from your customers or your stakeholders as a part of your product development. Even if it's a tech product, like a UX experiential kind of design that you're doing to develop your tech product. Most folks do have a focus group. And if you can help them to see their comments, even when it comes to the design of the technology, it just expands and extends the depth of what you can glean from that time. So you're really getting more of the benefit of having those people together in that room in the moment.
Oh, that's so good. And Dana, who's one of your clients, said the visual mapping really helped me see my big picture, and I gained real clarity. And so as a business owner, that is wonderful. Again, listeners, thank you so much for being here. I'm your host, Charvette Mitchell. We are here with the amazing Belinda Jackson, visual strategist and graphic recorder, founder of Picture It Possible. If you are just coming in and like, oh, I need more information. If you are listening, look down below in the show notes. Look down below in the show notes. Also, if you're on charvette.com, we have a full bio, all the links, connection points there for Belinda. That's a great place to go. And again, pictureitpossible.co, not .com, not .org, not .biz.co, pictureitpossible.co. And Belinda, how can people request a consultation if they feel like they have something that or an event or something that would be beneficial to have your services?
Yes, we have 3 buttons on the main page. So one is for consulting. So if you want a vision map, you just click that button and you can schedule a session. If you're interested in like facilitation, some of the Lego serious play kinds of strategic planning things, you can click on the facilitation. And then if you're interested in like bringing those visuals into your event, capturing live in real time what speakers are saying or the audience is saying or a panel is saying, you can click on the button that says live scribing, which is another name for graphic recording. And you can get a custom estimate. You can set up a discovery call. If you have some other creative kind of out of the box idea you want to talk to me about, you can go to the booking page and schedule some time to just connect and share your ideas. And I can see if there's a way I can help bring it to life.
Wonderful. Pictureitpossible.co.co. Well, I'm telling you, Belinda, like our time flew by. It flew by. However, you gave us so much great, what I like, grounded information and grounded knowledge around this. And I'm glad we got to show some visuals. So again, if you're listening to the podcast version, this is one that you want to go at least jump on YouTube and watch so you can see some of the visuals. Also, Belinda, on social media, how can they connect? Because you do a really good job of kind of showcasing and teasing out some of the things that you do.
Yes, Picture It Possible on Facebook, Picture It Possible on Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can connect with me, Belinda. My middle name is Marie Jackson. And you can also just look up Picture It Possible on LinkedIn. We have a company page. We also have a page for our online learning community, Viz Think Lab, where we are doing free Lego Serious Play Lunch and Learns every month. So if you want to just come and explore what is this Lego stuff for adults about, you can join that. And we'll be launching some more visual note-taking classes for beginners towards the end of the year. All of that is on our social media and on the website as well. Picture It Possible.
Wonderful. And we've tagged on LinkedIn and added you as a speaker. So that's a great connection point. If you're connected to me, then it'll be a great way to connect with Belinda. And again, charvette.com, our main website, has Belinda's full bio and all the links to all the socials and all of that good stuff. Final question. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. What continues to motivate Belinda?
I would say when I see people have the aha moment, it never fails in the visual mapping session. There's always a point where someone goes, wait, sorry, I'm laughing. Oh, they go, oh, yeah, that's it. Dr. Val.
We put you on blast, Dr. Val, who's one of your clients as well. She's here. She's saying, thank you, Belinda, for my visual. Yes.
But you know, that moment where even though someone has developed something and they sit with it for so long, that you can provide a context, an opportunity, a platform for them to get more insight about the thing that they really feel they're supposed to be doing, that's going to then help them either articulate it better, distribute it better, deliver it better. I mean, that's what keeps giving back to me to make me want to keep doing what I do. It's the aha moments, which then lead to what, right? Innovation, insight, impact.
There you go. The aha moments. Well, thank you so much, Belinda. And I want to say also thank you in real life, Lo. So we connected in real life. You were here for a conference and you reached out and said, hey, let's grab breakfast. And so just thank you for being a great person, like legit in person. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And you know, I love you. You gave me some great helpful tips, and it's about building that network in the community, which I think you've done such an awesome job with the show, and 739 episodes. Congratulations to you.
You are 739. Yeah, consistency wins and beats every single time. So thank you so much for being here. We will let you go, and we'll certainly have you back another time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Wow. Such an awesome show. Again, if you're listening to the podcast version, Apple, iHeart, Spotify, this will be a great show to watch on YouTube. And shout out to those that watch this and cast this on your TV. So I might be showing up like on your TV screen right now. Thank you so much. We got some messages from some of our viewers who cast this onto their TV from either Facebook or YouTube. So thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm Charvette Mitchell, founder of Mitchell Productions. We are a marketing and professional development firm. And we are so excited to bring this episode 739 to you. We keeping it moving. We keeping it moving. Listen, the Platform Builders Summit, the VIP experience, that's our 8th in-person event, is coming to Richmond, Virginia, November 8th and 9th. We are about to start announcing speakers, and so be on the lookout for that. But more importantly, I want to personally invite you, if you are a woman business owner, and you are looking for community, but then also looking to work on your platform and some business development, then the Platform Builder Summit is where you want to be, November 8th and 9th in Richmond, Virginia. Listen, we got sessions on marketing, on AI and marketing, on personal branding, on image, on grants, on government contracting. We have all of the stuff for you. So it's going to be amazing. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Yes. Thank you to my sister Kim here as well. Thank you. And for those that might say, Charvette, why do you host events? We're going to take the show out with just a little clip of a past retreat that we did in Orlando, Florida. And this just explains why I host events. And until we meet again on the web, I'll see you later. Bye. There is something incredibly powerful about women business owners and leaders connecting. I mean, really connecting. Yes, online networking is great and it's convenient. However, there is nothing like the energy and vibe of meeting in person. It cannot be replaced. If you thrive in community, I encourage you to connect with and pursue your tribe. Maybe that's with a group of friends. Perhaps that is a local networking event, or with women you connect with through a business program or cohort. Someone asked me, why do you host conferences and retreats and encourage your clients to do the same? I responded with a quote from event leader and small business advocate, Lauren Casilia. Your audience needs to know each other, and you need to be the connector. My hope for high-achieving women entrepreneurs is that they have a safe space to be heard, to be seen, and to be free.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Charvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show.